What is happening, fishers? And welcome to Tackle Tuesday. So for those of you who joined us last week, we ran through fishing ultralight, running around with as least tackle and terminal tackle as possible. Tonight, we're going to look at the other end of the spectrum. Those weekends away when you need to pack everything. You're not sure what you're going to go targeting. You need to carry the house and the sink and the fridge with you. So this is the way we do it, guys. The best way for the guys for the long adventures is obviously a H-frame, either carried on your back or a trolley. Trolleys are available in store. There are different size wheels. Jared will run us through the size of the wheels quickly.
So these wheels on this trolley is the 12-inch balloon wheels. There's a 12-inch option and a 16-inch wheel option. Obviously, it depends on your preference. I personally use the 16s, much better pushing on the beach, especially when you're quite heavily loaded.
I'm an H-frame guy. I like trolleys, but I prefer carrying the H-frame on my back. I'm a bit of a donkey when it comes to our fishing trips. So I carry a double-stacked H-frame with 2 boxes on top. And what we're going to do in the next couple of minutes is run you through everything that I would carry or Jared would carry on a long fishing weekend. One thing I do always carry, I like full aluminium rod spikes. I actually carry 2 of them, one to peg one of my rods and one for baiting up. I prefer the nice aluminium welded ones, a lot stronger than the plastic molded. So look at something like that from Fish Buddy.
Otherwise, if you want to spoil yourself, even the stainless steel.
Yes.
I got one recently.
Absolutely beautiful.
The Novature stainless steels, they're also really, really good. Not as much flex as some of the alley sparks.
Okay, guys, so let's run through. What we're going to do is we're going to have a bit of a cut now. We're going to move the table in. And then let's run through some of the goodies that we carry in our fishing box. Might seem a bit of overkill, but you never know, and you always want to be prepared. See you soon. Cheers.
Cheers.
And
we're back.
We're back. So anyway, guys, what we're going to do for you is run and give you a brief description on what I'd carry through in my tackle box, coming from a non-league fisherman and compared to Jared as a league fisherman. There's obviously some things that I use that aren't to be lied used to using league fishing.
Yeah.
So there'll be a bit of a different comparisons to different things we use. But let's get going. First thing I always carry with me, guys, is a throw net. Running around on the surf and things like that, I just started with a little 4-foot net. Didn't make a beautiful little nylon net, nice and light. You can carry anywhere from a 4-foot, they come right up to a 9-foot. I like a 4-foot between the gullies and the rocks, nice and light. So one thing I always do, carry a throw net. I know the league guys not going to carry a throw net.
Not allowed to take it onto the beach.
No live bait around, guys. So number one, a throw net. And guys, if you're carrying a throw net, you're putting all that effort and hard work. You have to have a good bait pump, guys. There's no use spending those hours trying to collect mullets. You put the mullet in the pool and 20 minutes later your mullets are dead. So make sure you've got a nice waterproof bait pump. They come in a lot of different variety and sizes. This is one of the better ones out there, nice and waterproof. So make sure you have a bait net. So Jared, what else on the table do you like to carry? What are your favorite things?
So look, coming from a league perspective, we generally keep all of our tackle prepaid. So what I've got in my box, I generally will always travel with 2 trace pouches. That'll be for the bigger stuff, the shark trace pouch, and for your edibles or scratching. You don't need to exactly put this and that in, but it's good to know if I want to grab a shark trace, I don't have to fiddle through bluefish traces to find it.
Be prepared.
Be prepared, basically. And the worst thing is to come onto the beach as a general angler even, and you get there, you got 1 trace ready, you have a blupsy on your first throw, the braid hooks, and you're sitting without a trace, and the guy starts catching fish and you're wasting time.
So anyway, guys, Fish SA make some brilliant products to help get your fishing traces organized. So what I'm going to run through is just a general selection of what I carry on any Pacific day. I can target anything. There's no fish in the sea I can't target when I go down that. So I also carry 2 trace bags with myself. I'm just going to run through the selection of things. Please note, I'm not sponsored by anyone. These are the manufacturers of the hooks and stuff I personally use, but you can adjust to your favorite brands and things like that. So if any of you know me, BKK is one of my favorite hooks, guys. Absolutely love them. They're circle hooks for my style of fishing, the way I do it, I really enjoy. So I started a 5-0. This is what I'll carry with me on any Pacific day, a 5, 6. I know it's a bit overkill, guys. 7. I like to be prepared. And I go from an 8. Okay, that's going to take care of all my edible fishing. So I'll make sure I've got a pack of each of those, at least with me. 2 packets of the 8s, because those are my favorite hooks. From there, I jump up to a 10-0. The 10 I'm going to use for my smooth hound fishing, spotted gullies and things like that, and my smaller non-heads.
Yeah.
And if there are big black steamers around. And then I do quite a big jump off from that way up. I go right up to the 12, guys. That's what I'm going to use for my reggae fishing and all my non-heads.
Your larger non-heads you're going to be targeting.
Okay. Talking on hooks, another hook I always carry with me, the VMC, either a 4 or a 5, the Viking. Beautiful shad hook. And from the previous video, a number 1 Daiichi, which will take care of all my bream species. So I'm quite covered there.
And sometimes bigger.
And sometimes bigger, because they ask strong hooks, you can get some good fish on that.
Definitely.
I carry 2 sizes of swivels with me, guys. I normally carry a size 1 and a size 2. Those are 2 size swivels. I like the Japanese power swivels, my particular brand of choice. I carry a packet of split rings to make dangles with.
Adding on to that, one thing I see we don't have on the table, which is I know something you and I probably carry, even if it's a meter or half
Some
a meter, little bit of
Dacron.
Dacron. We don't currently have it on the table, but it is added to the box.
Okay, then what I'm going to do, I always carry a nice little selection of soft beads with me to make some of my sliding traces up with, to stop my swivel hitting against my knots, just to protect my knots.
So you don't want that damaged.
Just a small packet of bluefish floats, guys, just when I'm fishing with some bream, and some ready-made T-swivels. Adrenaline makes some beautiful ready-made T-swivels. They don't break, they don't tangle. Definitely a product you need to look out for. Trust me, these are probably the best T-swivel you can get, guys. Okay, so that takes care of my terminal tackle. One thing I do suggest, investing all this terminal tackle, make sure you got a good container to pack your terminal tackle into. My biggest peeve is I pack all my tackle, I separate my swivels, I separate my beads, put in my fishing box. 2 or 3 Ks of walking, I get in, everything's mixed up.
Looks like a cyclone.
It looks like a cyclone seated, guys. I'll spend 3 hours packing my fishing box, and in 30 seconds it's over. Rapala or Rapala, however you pronounce it, probably makes the best tackle box out there, guys. The best organizing box. I've tried at least 10 or 15 different boxes. This is the one that works. Hooks don't jump from one container to another container. So look at that. Spend that extra bit of money and keep your fishing tackle organized. So I'm going to go from the terminal tackle. I'm going to put Jared onto the leaders he would carry on any Pacific day.
So for us, going onto the braid leaders, we've just got 2 on the table, yeah. So this would be the 100-pound and the 180-pound.
That's what I personally carry. I don't know what you would personally carry.
So I do carry both of them, but this comes into a perspective again of fishing the league. I carry a bit of everything.
Yeah.
So I've got at any given day 80-pound, 100-pound, 120, and 180-pound in the box. You want to know if you need to change from a bluefish leader to a shark leader, you've got it. Then going on to the nylon leaders, this is my current preference at the moment, but they generally all work and do the same thing. So I would then carry a 0.5, a 0.6, a 0.7, and a 0.8 in the nylon leaders. Some people do fish a little bit lighter, but generally my bluefish fishing is 0.5, 0.6. If I'm scaling down, then I can go lighter, but then I'll also use like the 0.5 on your sinker lines for your bigger traces.
Okay, so thanks for
that covers leaders.
Something runs through our leaders, guys. I carry, if not 2, but 3 fishes, say sinker pouches. Normally on a weekend away, I'd carry my 11-foot rod as a 1 to 3 ounce rod, so I'd carry some 3-ounce teardrops in there. I'd carry a 3 to 5 ounce rod, maybe my Evo. So I'd carry some 5-ounce wire sinkers in there. Yeah. And obviously, those of you do know, I do enjoy catching a knotted every now and again. So my 7-ounce sinkers would go in there. I like to keep my things very organized, guys, very separated. If you don't have space, downscale to 2, but I like to carry 3. And then I know I'm good for go there.
Yeah, Dean does have a double-sized box if you've seen in the previous video.
Yeah, so I double stack my box. I have plenty space.
If you are tight on space and using a normal fishing buddy H-ram, 2 do work. Obviously, as you said, you'll also take your little rod down to the beach. When we're fishing normally, I'll carry 2, but that is my preference. I'll keep normally teardrops in one and then just your wires in the other
one. Okay, so Jared, let's move on to, a lot of us like to carry our cell phones. And cell phones cost a hell of a lot of money these days. We know some of the modern cell phones are waterproof and stuff like that, but you want to keep your baity hands, you want to keep the sand, you want to keep the water off your phone.
Yeah,
I know Jared likes to keep something that works very well.
What works for me, I use the Aqualine Deluxe dry pouch. Your cell phone fits in here ideally, and it's got a nice clip you'll see at the back. So this you can actually attach around your neck. We actually had a customer come in today.
Yeah.
The husband's coaching for the nationals and running around didn't have one of these. She had to come all the way into town to grab one of these.
At least the phone's nice and safe
for
the week.
You need to know that your phone's protected. I've lost a handful already because of forgetting this. So this is a must in your box.
It's very essential. So now Jared, when it comes to building your non-net trace, your shark trace, your full metal jackets and things like that, what sort of leader wire and what do you suggest to guys that are new into it use? I know there's a lot of different guys who use different things. What are your suggestions going forward?
speaking directly about the wire or just everything in
No,
general?
just the wire, pretty much the wire. Yeah.
So the wire.
If you had to carry one roll of wire with you, what did you carry?
If I carry one roll of wire, it would be the 150 pound.
Okay.
I fish with the carbon coated. I don't generally
That's the guide you use right there. Eh?
Yeah, so that would be it.
Yeah.
That is the example. This is the 175 pound. We've just grabbed any of the shelf, but the 150 is the ideal. If you know you might fish for anything from a smaller smooth hound right up to a decent size non-head, the 150 can be a go-to.
Yeah. So my preference, I normally use the 7x7. I know we got different takes on what wire to use. So I think it's 180 pounds 7x7 or 175. I'm not actually sure, guys.
Should be.
So I like about 175 pounds, a bit heavier than what Jared uses, but whatever you feel comfortable with. And then Adrenaline make these beautiful dangles, guys. Fantastic. I like throwing big head baits.
Very good value for money as well. I do use them.
them.
I've got both sizes in the box
Yeah.
at the moment.
So that's one of the dangles I do like using. One thing I do suggest, guys, if you are using dangles, always carry something that a lot of guys don't think about in their tackle box. Where did it go, guys?
What are you looking for, Dean?
Okay, there we go, guys. Sorry, man. So a little bit of heat shrink. Heat shrink is going to go a long way. A lot of the times when you use your dangles, you keep using it, the heat shrink pops off and the dangle is unusable again.
Oh, you get frustrated.
So for a couple of extra rand, like 25 rand, guys, probably 2 meters of a heat shrink, and you can get your dangles back to life again. So one thing you need to carry in your tackle box, make sure you have some heat shrink. Okay, Jared, anything else you like to you see on the table that you like to throw into your box?
Look, going on to the subject of some of the bigger things that I know that's needed as well, sticking to the shark side of things, a good side cutters is always important. This is what you generally need in the box, whether or not you need to make a trace while you're on the beach or
cut a trace.
If that hook's far down and the dangle puller is not going to reach it. The way I do it, if that hook's deeper than this, I'll cut.
It off. You're not
Generally, they will still rust out, and you can at least save yourself your digits. You don't want to lose your hand. For the smaller non-heads and some of like your barbels and stuff like that with your sparks,
good set of pliers.
A good set of pliers or hook removers. This is the Boone. These are really good quality.
Yeah, guys, if you want to buy once and not buy again, get yourself a pair of Boone. Yes, there are cheaper brands in the market.
But you won't go wrong.
Nothing wrong with them. They're not going to last as long as these. This you're going to get. Look after them. It's going to last you a lifetime. Spend the extra money.
100%.
Buy once, buy right. Okay. Anything else you like to go? So I'll jump in here again quickly.
One thing, a decent knife. So Dean and I have grabbed 2 here.
Yeah.
This is the Zest. Comes with a decent pouch. And I know Dean will open that quickly. So that's one option. Tramontina, also a very nice option. Little bit shorter, thicker blade. The Zest I prefer, or that style I prefer for your finesse baits, your chocker. Whereas your thicker stuff, you can use something like a Tramontina with a thicker edge on it. And then I will always keep a little knife sharpener, just in case maybe you've cut a crustacean, something, and you do find that your knife can be a bit blunt. That's important. And then going on to the last thing for the sharks and the dangles, a decent stainless steel dangle puller. These are a must. You don't want to be fiddling around with a bonny head or a big yellowtail head and you're trying to cut it open. This is a must to have to pull your dangles through. Obviously only for your plain wire dangles. Dean, you can go on further.
So we're going on. Listen, we respect some of the things that are quite top of the range stuff, guys. If your budget can't afford it, please note there are other products out there that do just as good a job. The reason why I like a good quality knife, guys, better quality stainless steel. You can sharpen the knife; it holds its edge longer. But there are knives available at a better price if your budget can't afford it. But I promise you, in the end of the day, buying something of better qualities, you're gonna get more use out of it. As long as you're not using it, you're gonna keep that for years.
There's nothing worse than going to the beach with a blunt knife, and especially one that doesn't hold a good edge.
Okay, guys. So some other miscellaneous tackle box essentials that I carry with me. Sounds a bit weird. Number one, guys, super glue. Make sure you got a nice bottle of super glue. I know it sounds weird. What are you guys going to use super glue for fishing? Well, I've probably saved 2 or 3 of my rods in my life, gluing our eye back on. Stop my fishing road trip. And the number one reason we carry it is for safety, guys. You get a nice ugly cut on your finger, you can't fish, you can't carry on fishing. Super glue, stitches on the go. You don't have to rush off back to hospital as long as it's not too bad. A couple of drops of super glue I promise you it's going to save a day's fishing. So always make sure you've got super glue with you. And cable ties, guys. Besides the aspect of cable ties make brilliant rigs for live bait, that often come in very handy when you're fishing. You can do wonderful things with cable ties. So carry cable ties, carry super glue, and always carry a lighter with you. Very important essentials. I know it doesn't sound necessary, but make sure you've got those miscellaneous items in your tackle box. Another thing I do like to carry with me, it sounds a bit weird. Guys, I pack to the hills. I always carry a little bit of synthetic or some real oil with me, good quality real oil. There are days you might be fishing, at a long days out fishing halfway through the day, because you haven't oiled your reel for 2 or 3 weeks, you'll find your bearing is feeling a bit dry, things like that. So rather always have a bit of oil with you, pop 1 or 2 drops of oil in that bearing, and save your reel from having to go in for a service.
Especially if you're out of town, gone away on a trip, always good to have in a box if you got the space for it.
100%, guys. So when it comes to bait presentation, guys, we're just going to run through quickly. Obviously, we've gone through the knife. As we ran through last week, we're just going to run through very quickly, guys, a good quality squid or choco or bait hammer. Stainless steel ones are the best. They hold the edges longer. So plastic ones do work, but that's definitely, as I say, buy once, buy right, buy yourself a stainless steel one.
I invested recently and you can feel the difference.
A good quality pair of scissors, guys, braid scissors. I know some guys carry 2, 1 for bait, 1 for braid. A lot of different brands out there. So a good pair of scissors or 2 pairs of scissors. You always drop one in the sand. Some pre-made dangles and foam. If you may like them, that's all I'll carry with me. I like some pre-made dangles to save some time. Okay, bait cotton. I don't know how many different. I think I carry about 4 different things of bait cotton, but I am a bit overkill. I don't know what you carry with you.
I carry about the same 4 or 5.
Yeah. So we normally carry a thin, a medium, and a thick, guys. I also like the extra heavy for my big shark baits, my head baits. So I carry 4 different spools of cotton. I carry 2 of each. Yes, I carry 2 of each. It sounds a bit ridiculous. What happens if one runs out?
If you're fishing a long days, as you say, with the shark stuff, sometimes there's a lot of cotton needed. Those very big bites, you need to secure them.
Yeah, so guys,
3 or 4 rolls of cotton, you go through them quite quickly, and it's not something you want to go onto the beach thinking you've got enough and you run out. You feel like a pawpaw.
Guys, I am the king of overkill. It might be my, I don't know, I just like to be over prepared, but I always make sure I've got enough cotton for myself and the 13 mates that are fishing with us sometimes, so we are prepared. One thing we forgot, I think the most important thing, Jared, that little guy there.
A little water bucket. So this is a collapsible bucket. This you can use primarily to keep your hands clean. So what I'll do is I'll bring a little rag with, just to make sure that when you are busy biting up, whether or not it's a choco bait or using your shark stuff, your hands will get slimy and oily. You don't want to put that on your rod. And it also works if you've come down, it's a cold day, your bait needs to defrost, you put a little bit of water in here and it'll get the bait to defrost. And one thing that not many people look at as well is that when you've done that and you're going back and you're going to make a throw and now it's a hot day, what I will always do is I'll put my choco hammer back in here. Otherwise that squid can sit and stick onto the little blades, you can call it the sparks of the hammer. So I'll throw my scissors and my hammer back in here. Be careful if you are using a knife, obviously it will poke it. In that case, rather get a little plastic bucket, but for your general purpose, a little water bucket, preferably collapsible, is better.
Okay, guys, and then one of the last but not least essentials, obviously a bucket. Everyone carries a bucket when they go fishing. But one thing I think everyone should invest in is beautiful containers from Fish SA. I've got it exactly how I set up. I carry 2, as I said, the king of overkill. I'll use 1 for bait and the other one for clean things. My vape goes in the one. If you're a smoker, your cigarettes can go in one. Your car keys can go in one. Anything that doesn't need to get wet. So I carry 2 of those with me on my bait bucket the whole time. I call it the dirty one for my bait, and I've got a clean one for my clean things, guys. 1 or 2, I've seen guys fish with 3. You can put 3 or 4 different baits in it.
Yeah, I fish with 2. You don't want to put a little pilchard bait with your prawns.
Exactly.
You want it clean and neat as best as possible.
So Fish SA have made lives a lot easier with those products, guys. Now, the one thing that I like about going fishing, like my nighttime fishing, my favorite is a good quality headlight, guys. I'd suggest anyone out there that's really serious into fishing, you're doing a lot of nighttime fishing or early morning fishing, invest in a good headlight. Nothing more frustrating than going out, you've got a headlight that's blinking on the blink, it gets a bit of water on and stops working. And I think the #1 brand in South Africa worldwide, lead lenser, guys. They come with up to a 7-year warranty if you register your brand. I know Andrew, myself have both had lead lenses in the past. We've had issues with them. And with no hesitation, they've replaced them. Absolutely replaced them with not asking a question. We sent them off to lead lenser. They've sent us a brand new headlight. That's how good these oaks are. So yes, you're looking at 1,000 Rand to 2,000-3,000 Rand for a headlight. Remember, they are rechargeable. You're not going to be wasting money on batteries. You're going to need between 4 and 8 hours out of your headlight. So look at lead lenser, up to a 7-year warranty if you register your product. Definitely one of the better, probably the best headlight brands out there. And as I say, if you are out fishing at night, you need at least 600 lumens, guys. 600 to 1,000 is optimal. Some guys go up to 2,000, which is it gives you that nicer daylight effect and things like that.
Yeah, it gives you enough. As you said, the 600 as a minimum is fine. I find sometimes the guys get a little bit stuck because it takes them a little bit less. It's not always about seeing 200 meters down the beach, but when it's nothing worse than fishing for even whether or not it's a big shark or edible on the rocks, and you got that sea mist. A lot of the guys that will fish at night know that little sea mist.
Try wearing glasses and checking that out.
Oh, that's the unfortunate part there. But even without the glasses, that little sea mist is a problem, and you can't actually get proper visibility on a fish. That's why a good headlight is always a good investment.
Anyway, guys, so thanks for joining us for running through what we personally carry in our tackle boxes. Yes, it's overkill, but I like going out to be prepared. I like knowing that I'm going to enjoy my days fishing. I've got all my bases covered. So when you see me on the beach with my 2 boxes, that's what you know what I'm carrying. So if you need something, a swivel or something, come give us a shot. Anyway, guys, thanks for joining us this week. Please note that all these amazing products are available at Bull Warrior Fishing Tackle. Check them out on their website. The best prices in the country, hands down, is where I buy all my fishing gear. Anyway, guys, so from Dean from Untraceable Fishing and Jared from Bull Warrior Fishing Tackle, cheers.
Cheers.